Hello. In this video, we're going to go over finding the endpoint when given a midpoint and another endpoint. So I know that sounds a little weird and confusing, but these will show up every now and then, and they're very easy as long as we go through the method that we go through right now. So let's go over 4 of these and call it a day. Basically, what's being told here is you're told you have an endpoint for an X and a Y, you have a midpoint, and you have another endpoint, right? X midpoint, Y midpoint, X1, Y, wait, X2. Make that cleaner. Let's make that cleaner. X2, Y2. Call this X1, Y1. And basically, this distance from this endpoint to the midpoint needs to be the exact same distance from that midpoint to the endpoint. So let's go through it. -1, 9 is the endpoint. Our midpoint is -9, -10. And then we want to go to one more endpoint. It's 21. We call that blank. So the first thing we need, here we go. First thing we need is find the distance it takes from this X value to this other midpoint X value, right? And what was that distance covered, right? So what we need to do is we take the end and we're going to have to subtract the beginning. End minus, that's a terrible way to spell beginning. Beginning. I think that's close enough. -9, this turns into a plus, right? 2 minus signs together like that will turn into a plus. -8. So our X value loses 8. We go -8. Thus, when I look for this guy, I need to go -8 again. So we'll take -9 and we're going to subtract 8 from it. That is all. And then all we see is clearly -17. That is our X value. Very, very easy. Let's find that Y value. 9 goes from +9 to -10. Well, I need to take that -10 endpoint minus beginning point. We see we subtracted 19 value points. So we need to go -19 again. We'll take -10 minus 19, get -29. And let's make this a little bigger. And that, as you can see, will be the answer to this problem, our other endpoint. -17, -29. Let's do another. Let's do 22. So write the endpoint, 2, 5, midpoint, endpoint. Our midpoint is 5, 1. Our endpoint we are looking for. Let's make sure we give ourselves some space. All right, let's start off. The Y's, the X's. The X's go from 2 to 5. And all we're going to do is take endpoint minus beginning point. We see a +3 interaction. So all I need to do to find the next endpoint is to add 3 from the midpoint. As you can see, these values being equal makes that the middle. So we see 5 plus 3, as all we're going to do down here is 8. There's our X value. Next, we need to find that Y value. And that Y value is going to be, let's get a different color. That Y value, we're just going to take and we say, all right, Y to this new Y, endpoint minus beginning point. We see it's a -4. We're subtracting 4. So I must subtract 4 again. And we're going to take 1 minus 4. We see -3 is going to be our answer. The answer to the endpoint, given the endpoint in the midpoint, is that 8, -3. We added 3 to the X, added 3 again. We subtracted 4 again. That's it. That's all that's going to be applied. Instead of doing two more, we're just going to do one more and call it. Let's minimize everything. Make things a little smaller and neater. And we'll do one more problem. Let's move this here, put the camera right there. Last problem. So we're going to do 23. We see 5, 2 as my endpoint. Midpoint is -10, -2. Endpoint are x, y. All we're going to do is jump straight into it. We have to go from 5 to -10. Take your endpoint, subtract your beginning point. We went -15 units. What do we have to do to get to the next endpoint? Do the same thing. Subtract 15 from our midpoint. We see -10 minus 15 is -25. Next, we'll apply it to the y values. The y values go from 2 to -2. Endpoint minus beginning point, we see our distance traveled is -4. So we need to do the same thing again and subtract 4 to our current midpoint y value. -2 minus 4 gets us that -6. Our endpoint in this situation is -25, -6. And that is all. If you have any more questions or specific ones you would like me to cover, please just send me an email and I'm always happy making a video. Other than that, always happy making a video. Sorry. Other than that, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.